We're talking today with Dr. Alberto Fohrig, who's professor of political science at San Andres University in Buenos Aires, Argentina. We spoke with him a few months ago about the Argentine presidential elections, which are to be held in October at the end of 2015. So we're back talking to Professor Fohrig. Alberto, how are you today?
Fine, how are you, Joe?
Good. Let's talk a little bit about the presidential elections. Who are the principal candidates and what are their political parties and central tendencies?
There are three main candidates now ahead in the polls. They are pretty much tied, even though there are initial signs that there will be some sort of polarization between two of them. The three candidates are Sergio Massa from a party called Frente Renovador, who is a faction of the Peronist Party. The second is Daniel Scioli, who is the governor of the province of Buenos Aires, the main province in Argentina, who was vice president of President Kirchner, so he's the main official candidate representing the government. And the third candidate is the mayor of Buenos Aires, called Mauricio Macri, who is presently ahead in the polls, but 6 months in advance, you never know who's going to win.
Right.
The fact is that the three of them are the main contenders, and they represent clearly a shift in ideological terms from what has been the main line and strategy pursued by the President Cristina Kirchner.
Do you consider that Scioli, the governor of Buenos Aires province, is the continuation of Mrs. Kirchner's movement, or is he more moderate than she is?
He is clearly more moderate. He is more leaning towards center-right politics, whereas the president, Cristina Kirchner, is more leaning to center-left politics.
Right.
Even though they live together under the same roof in the Peronist Party. So what we will probably see if he wins is a significant shift from populist left-wing politics towards populist right-wing politics.
Okay. And in economic terms, in terms of economic policy, what does that shift mean, for example, for investors or the international market? What kinds of change can we anticipate?
I would anticipate that the three of them embody a market-friendly approach in which foreign investors are probably going to be able to make significant investments in Argentina, particularly those linked to productive projects. All of them have indicated that they are looking for foreign investment to pursue actively foreign investment for the Argentine economy. So we will probably see a significant shift in economic policy over the next 10 years.
Great. So you think that it will mean officially recognizing the level of inflation, change in exchange rate laws, and even perhaps settlement with the bond holdouts that is causing so much difficulty for Argentina?
The three aspects that you mentioned I agree with the three of them. What we will have is a situation in which many of the problems that now are causing the Argentine economy to be stagnating will be removed over a period of 3 or 4 years. Basically, inflation that is now around 30% a year will be lowered gradually, regardless of who wins
Right. Okay. All right. Now, if the three of them are running pretty much the same, none of them has a majority, and so we could almost certainly, at least at this stage, anticipate a second round or a ballotage. In that case, how would any of those three attempt to increase their support so they might win in the second round?
There's a detail about the electoral system which is key to analyze the elections, which is previously to the first round, to the general election in October, we will have a primary in which all of Argentine citizens are obligated to participate, because voting is obligatory in Argentina, and therefore that election will be key. In that election, what happens is that contenders within a single party decide who is going to represent the party in the general election. So Scioli has a contender in the Kirchner faction. Massa will run against probably the governor of Córdoba, José Manuel de la Sota. Macri will run against the radicals. So each of them will have their own competitor within their own coalition, and they decide in that election who's the official representative, the official candidate of that election, of that party, sorry.
Right.
So what will happen in that first primary is that it will show clearly who of the three candidates that I mentioned are in a better position to win. And what will probably happen is that will start polarizing some sort of competition among two of those candidates, and the third will lose some support, because the contenders favoring the third candidate will support one of the two with most probabilities of winning. That's why I think there will be some sort of polarization in the first round, which by no means implies that there will be no ballotage. What I'm saying is that it's a dynamic picture that has three different stages, and the first stage in August is very important.
Okay, and when are the primaries to be held?
Next August.
Okay, so we might plan on talking just before that to see what exciting things are going to happen. Very good. Thank you very much. We've been talking to Professor Alberto Fohrig of the University of San Andres in Buenos Aires. We'll come back and visit again. Alberto, thank you for your time.
Thank you, Joe.